Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's WrestleMania Day, Larson.
Hooray!
Yes! Remember the old Inside Gaming? Yes!
That's kind of their gimmick, man.
It's the new, I think they still do it. Yes!
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's gimmick infringement. We can't do that.
That's okay. They're friends. So anyways, WrestleMania.
All the more reason we shouldn't be doing it.
Okay. Yeah, your last word in?
No more.
It's WrestleMania Day. We're going to be doing our live stream reactions today, starting with the kickoff show at, I don't know, 2
p.m.
2 p.m. and then 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, come join us.
Yes, please. It should be fun.
Interesting. Teep of teeps.
Time consuming.
That it definitely will be. So, yeah, lots of fun. But, of course, this is Matt Chat. Listen, man, Mania Weekend, no Mania Weekend. We got friendos trying to ask us questions.
Indeed.
On the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. And
Matt Chat takes no break.
God damn it, we will answer these questions come high or hell water.
You're damn right about that.
Hell or high water.
Hell or high water, not high or hell water. Anyway, let's kick it off. Jack Daddy Umpire, Rich Hardesty, see what he has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson, this is the Jack Daddy Umpire, Rich Hardesty here with a Matt Chat question for you. So, lately we've seen, over the past few months, WWE tending to kind of blur the line between shoot and kayfabe. Some of that can kind of go back to even some of the being the elite stuff beforehand, but we're now seeing that kind of be a big deal with the main event with WrestleMania this weekend, all the interactions on Twitter and stuff like that. And it just kind of got me thinking, is this kind of going to be the future of wrestling as we know it? And is that a good or a bad thing? Thanks, guys. Too sweet. Hearty handshake.
Thank you, Rich Hardesty. He's in his umpire gear.
I noticed that. Or I was like, is he in his Empire gear or is he some sort of mech?
I know.
Is he some sort of robotic person?
Maybe he's both. Mech umpire.
Mech umpire. There you go. You are safe.
You know, they've been saying for a while in baseball we should do like cameras and stuff called strikes and balls.
Yeah.
Robo umpires, man.
Robo umpires.
So you still get the umpire there. Yeah. It's not some omniscient camera watching everything. There's an umpire, but it's still machine, AI, learning.
A learning computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve, take it away.
I think it's a great thing. Look, everything evolves. Everything gets, the curtain comes down, kayfabe breaking down left and right. I like it because just like with the main event feud of this year's WrestleMania, there are questions. Is Ronda's fragile ego really getting in the way of the booking here? Is she actually upset over this Twitter stuff, or is it all just a work? I mean, obviously that silly arrest stuff was a big old work, but it was awesome. It was hilarious. But you get that juxtaposed with the more maybe shoot-ish, her vlog thing. What's real, what's fake? So I do appreciate that it's coming down. The one thing that I'd like to see is the opening up of process. A lot of people are fans of wrestling that are very interested in how things are put together and how matches come together, in what the process is. Some people want to see how these sausages are made, Larson, and I hope that one day we get it. We got that terrific docu-series on WWE, Breaking Ground, and then to this day they still do stuff like the Chronicle series, which kind of blurs the line also. And so,
but we've yet to see like a full. It'd be fascinating to see even just a half-hour documentary on, say, the end of an era match. Yeah. How that was put together, the creative process behind that match. That'd be fascinating.
I agree.
And that's kind of like the one last curtain for the most part that hasn't been blown open. They did on WWE, they had that brief little YouTube video about, here's a WWE creative process. That was so top level.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying, hey, we have writers who write stuff for WWE television.
Here's us talking in a boardroom.
And that was the extent of the information divulged. That still seems to be the one last thing they won't really talk about in any real detail.
Yeah.
But other than that, kayfabe. Bye. See you later.
Yeah.
It's a fairly archaic thing, I think. And that's really the reason I feel like pro wrestling was stigmatized for so long, is because they put forth the idea, hey, this is real fighting, when anybody can plainly see, if they're paying attention, this is not real fighting.
Yeah.
You strip kayfabe away. You don't put forth the pretense that anything going on is real. You say these are performers, they're entertainers doing their job. you can appreciate it for the performance. Like I can watch an action movie and watch this fight sequence and say, wow, that was really well executed, well choreographed fight sequence. I know it's fake. It looks great. Performance is outstanding.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate wrestling in the same way.
Yeah.
I know they're not really fighting. However, I do know they're putting their bodies on the line every night. They go out there in the ring, taking bumps, sometimes extremely dangerous. I can enjoy it as entertainment because that's what it is. It's well choreographed fighting that's highly entertaining. Add to that some at times interesting storylines. We know none of it's real. Mm-hmm. We know none of it is real, but it's still wildly entertaining. That's all that really matters. As long as the product is entertaining, that's the most important thing.
Let me ask you this, though. I wonder if we're in a sweet spot right now where, yes, it is breaking down. Would it take away some of the intrigue for it to be completely blown away? Because when Ronda Rousey posts those vlogs where she's talking about this is all a dog and pony show.
You know, my issue with that was less like, hey, this is all fake. It was just, I don't know, it's just the execution of it was clumsy. There was it wasn't clever. Mm-hmm. It was very ham-fisted. Mm-hmm. That was more my issue with it. I don't care. And they don't follow through with it to the logical degree, which is that she should just go in there and not sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
The fact that she was dropping F-bombs and whatnot made it feel about as real as you can get. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. Maybe we would. Maybe we're in a nice spot right now where, you know, when there's two very, very different roads you could take and there's conflict between those roads, you get kind of a compromised you get kind of a compromise where the lines are blurred and it keeps you guessing what's real, what isn't real. And I do think that that's an appealing, entertaining part of the process. Maybe right now is a really, really good sweet spot for pro wrestling to be in, as opposed to, let's say, 20 years from now, everything's completely broken down and it's just, yeah, we're actors, we're entertainers. There's no pretense of, well, you know, it's real. Mm-hmm. There's none of that. Mm-hmm. I wonder if right now is like the perfect amount of kayfabe and shoot, of work and shoot.
I don't know.
You know, because I think that it does. I think that those sort of themes have played very heavily and I think very entertainingly into what's going on with WrestleMania these days.
Next, got a question from Andy Nero. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey friendos, hey Stephen Larson, it's Andy Nero with another Mac Chat question. This one this week concerns Kofi and hopefully him winning the WWE Championship. In the past, we all talked about how we feel like the New Day should freebird a singles title. Is this the title to do it for? One of you say yes, one of you argue no. So, and fancy book how you'd do that. All right. Too sweet. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Andy Nero.
Thank you, Andy Nero.
We spoke about this a bit in our SmackDown recap on Wednesday. Here's the issue with having the New Day freebird the title now. The story that's building up till hopefully Kofi's title win would be somewhat undercut if then after he won the title they decide, okay, we'll share in being champion with him. The whole story is that Kofi has worked 11 years just to get an opportunity. And for him to win the match by himself and then share the prize of that victory, I don't know, it would kind of undercut the storyline that led to it. That's generally the thing. Now, we talked about in SmackDown, like if it's a situation where they collectively say won Money in the Bank, collectively held that briefcase, and then cashed in, it would make sense for them to then collectively hold that title.
Yeah.
But when the story is about Kofi getting this opportunity and then finally winning it, it kind of needs to be Kofi holding the belt.
Yeah, I'm trying to envision. I'm not sure. I believe Kofi's going to win. I think you do too. I'm trying to envision how long his title reign's going to be if they can get to the point where the drama behind it will be dialed down enough to allow them to have a conversation that makes sense about freebirding the title. I think you're right. If they got there in a freebird manner, we all have the briefcase. You make a New Day style briefcase, and they all sort of joke about we're going to freebird this thing.
You never knew who's going to cash it in. Yeah.
Then you're launching it into a completely different stream of story than we're in right now, which is a very specific and very dramatic story, which I believe has elevated the prestige of the title itself. In the other way you're going is still very entertaining, but you're almost kind of playing loosey-goosey with the prestige of the title if you're doing that. Granted, like I said, for some pretty decent entertainment and for some originality being brought to the title. But no, I think that I'm not sure if they'll be able to ever get to that point where they can initiate that conversation. So I don't know. I think that probably no is the answer. Certainly not the way things are booked now.
Yeah. A different storyline would have made it entirely possible, but not this particular story.
I agree completely.
Next question from Liam Jones. Take it away, Liam.
Hey, Stephen Larson. Quickly, I would like to thank Nicholas from the Friendoverse for giving me the idea of this question, so thank you very much. My question for you today that I would like you to debate is, do you think that WWE's roster today is better than WWE's roster in 2002, when obviously all the WCW contracts expired and they all came to WWE, like the NWO and Hulk Hogan all came back to WWE? Do you think that today's roster is better, or do you think 2002's roster is better? Steve, I would like you to debate that WWE in 2002's roster was better. Larson, I would like you to debate that WWE today's roster is better. Thank you.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you, Liam.
All right, so I'll go first here. Number one, I think you and I can both agree that in ring, there has never been a better roster than today. That's just there's no debate to be held there. I will say this though, this is the case for the 2001-2002 roster. Like 2002, when the NWO came in and everybody was there from ECW, everybody good from WCW. I think Goldberg was coming in around that time too.
Yeah, it was 2002.
Yeah. Here's the case to be made.
Actually, 2003.
That was 2003.
Yeah.
Here's the case to be made. It's as if everybody that's going to All Elite Wrestling, everybody that's made a name for themselves in Impact, Ring of Honor, it's as if all those people were in the WWE. That's the analogy right there. And you could even, I'm not sure what New Japan was doing at the time, how great they were or how big they were, but you could even say people like Kenny Omega, who's now in All Elite, obviously. But like the bigger names, well, I'm not going to say that for New Japan. I don't know what they're doing at the time. But certainly all the biggest names that could have gone to WWE, because it's not like ECW and WWE, they were pulling like huge names from New Japan at the time. So I'm not going to speak for that. But the biggest names in All Elite, in Impact, they were all in WWE. Now that we have an All Elite, and we don't have things like the Young Bucks in WWE, we don't have things like Kenny Omega in WWE, that analogy, I think, better illustrates just how stacked that roster was in 2002. So I think that case could be made. If we're dealing strictly in in-ring ability, there's no case to be made.
What you're talking about is star power. Star power of the roster in 2002 was off the charts.
Yes.
And the roster today just can't match that because, part of that's because WWE hasn't invested the capital in building stars of that magnitude really anymore, save for John Cena, maybe Brock Lesnar. Otherwise, we don't have, the Hogans, the Rock.
In 2002, you had Rock, Austin, and Hogan, and Cena.
And Triple H.
And
Kurt Angle, and The Undertaker.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
And Brock Lesnar.
Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian.
Yeah. Dudleys.
Yeah, we have a lot of the in-ring product has never been better. Never.
Jericho. Sorry.
Yeah, and Jericho.
Yeah.
But just WWE hasn't invested the time.
And for a very short spell, Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
He was originally hired in like 2001.
Invest the time in really building up the current roster to stars of that magnitude. And that, in my mind, that's it depends what you want. Do you want the massive names, the huge stars? Or do you want consistently really good wrestling and at times phenomenal wrestling? Mm-hmm. That's really it.
Yeah.
Because in-ring talent now is better than it's ever been.
But there in 2002, there was no competition. There was zero. At that point, everybody was in WWE.
That was kind of like the early days of TNA. but really no competition.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at the early days of TNA, who did you have? Ken Shamrock, Scott Hall, Jeff Jarrett, R-Truth.
A couple years later, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe.
And then they started building up those guys. Yeah.
Next question from AO Worm.
What's good, everybody? Ayo Worm here, and a match chat question. Steve Larson, if Vince McMahon hit you guys up and asked you guys to be the head of creative, would you guys accept? And then what would be the first storylines you guys will put into effect? And what will be your long-term booking plans as per the divisions? Like, what will be the long-term for women's, the tag teams, the cruiserweights, and so on and so forth like that?
Thank you, AO Worm.
Thank you, AO Worm.
No, it seems like a miserable job.
Head of creative.
Yeah, it seems like a miserable job.
This isn't just creative, man. This isn't just, hey, you want to be.
Who do you still have to answer to?
Vince.
Yeah?
Come on.
No.
Let's do it.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Let's do it.
I don't want to be on the road 5 days a week.
What would be your?
I don't want to move to Connecticut. It seems really expensive to live back east.
In the words of the
all my
$1 Million
family's
Man,
here.
In the words of the $1 Million Man.
What?
Larson, what would be your price?
It'd be a lot. Probably more than any head of creative has ever made in WWE.
Oh, really?
Because like Kevin Dunn makes less than $1 million, and he's executive of something or another.
So let me ask you this.
What?
Answer this as a shoot.
All right.
$500,000 a year.
No, wouldn't be worth the stress. It would take years off my life. Money's not the most important thing to me.
All right.
I mean, that's truthful.
Okay.
I'm not interested in it.
Okay.
I'm just not interested in relocating my family, being on the road all the time, being away from them. To have a job I'll probably have for a year because I'll go insane.
Let me ask you
for
something.
$500,000.
Let me ask you something else then.
Not interested.
Let me just ask you something else then. You really think you're going to go to your wife and say an offer's on the table for $500,000 and you're going to win that conversation?
No, she knows how fragile it is up here.
You would, man.
No, it wouldn't be a situation where if I
would.
went to her and said this is a situation, but I don't think it's right for this, because she wouldn't want to move back east. She wouldn't want to move away from our families.
All right.
Even for $500,000, especially because it would last maybe a year, and then say I'm tired of this bullshit. I can't deal with it. I want to go back home.
All right.
Wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Wouldn't happen.
Okay.
But if for some reason I did, it'd just be We Book Raw. Tone down some more ridiculous stuff.
We couldn't get away with We Book Raw.
Then if I don't have the freedom to do what I want creatively, another reason not to do it.
Okay, but here's the thing. With We Book Raw, we have a very specific goal. We're not, make no mistake, we're not booking the best Raw we can. We're booking the silliest, goofiest shit we can think of.
We're booking the stuff that entertain us. And yeah, I'd tone down some of the sillier aspects of it. But, I'd want to repackage some people.
I think the best thing that...
Obviously can't have a mutant walking around as our champion.
The best thing that we can look at and point to...
How about this? Sorry, let me interrupt you. It might not be We Book Raw. It'd be how I approach fun wrestling in a macro sense.
Okay.
A more cinematic presentation.
Yeah.
Like the storylines aren't that convoluted.
Yeah.
But... I guess if you take a little bit of how Impact used to do on the fly on the wall thing, you take a little bit of Lucha Underground, how they do their presentation, very cinematic. I mean, not quite as stylized, but still pretty cinematic. And then you take like a more New Japan approach to booking, where you try to tell most of your stories in the ring. That's what it would look like. Mm-hmm. That's what it would look like. Because that's just kind of my preference, I think, of how I like my wrestling presented to me.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. I would really not be interested in it. No.
Here's the case to be made. Number one, I would for $500,000 a year, I would absolutely say yes. I would completely say yes, because for a couple reasons. Number one, it'd be if assuming that it's not a 3-year deal or a 5-year deal, I would absolutely do it for 1 year, simply because number one, that money is just way too good to turn down. Number two, it would be a massively interesting experience to go through. Number three, if that year was over and we went back to this, we would have all sorts of relationships that we could then take advantage of. We would have a ton of stories that we would then be able to offer up. I think there's a lot of reasons why I would totally say yes to that. That being said, how would I book it? I would probably point to NXT and say, I really like what they're doing over there. Let's inject more of that. I would have a lot of what you just said. Instead of cheesy backstage segments, I would get rid of that stuff. I would aim for more sort of long-term, more character-based stuff. So yeah, that's what I would do. But yeah, absolutely. For that amount of money, I would. For $500,000, I definitely would. Next up, Christopher Rappersad. Let's see what he has to say.
Good morning, Stephen Larson. So I'm getting ready. It's the morning of WrestleMania. So my question is, what is the best build, the worst build, and into the middle build? To me, the best build is Kofi and Daniel Bryan, AJ and Randy Orton. The into the middle build, I think Batista and Triple H and Seth and Brock. To me, the worst build has been the women's main event. I've been very disappointed of it, how they've been building this up to. Hopefully the match is good. And I think everything else on the card has been mediocre and a little bit thrown together last minute. So in your opinion, what do you think is the best, the worst, or in the middle? Hopefully we survive the night. 7.5 hours.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher. All right, so I'm going to say this. The worst, because it seems like we're probably getting this match, is the Revival and Kurt Hawkins.
It's also the first match on the cutting room floor if they need time.
You literally cannot come up with a worse build than something that didn't happen on TV. It didn't happen on TV. It was online on their YouTube channel in a backstage segment that lasted all of 3 minutes. That's not a build.
And we're 4 days away from the show as of the filming of this, and it has yet to be confirmed, probably because I don't know if they have time for it.
Right. So I'm going to say it's that one. My backup one would probably be what you already said. Or, I'm sorry, what you're going to say. So I'll let you say that. Middle of the road, I would say Drew Roman. They haven't had a lot of time. They haven't really needed a lot of time. I think that the AJ Randy one has actually been one of the better builds because it's been so effective with so little going on. The Drew Roman thing has been decent. Not gonna say it's been great. Not gonna say it's been bad.
It's been better than mediocre, I think, though.
It's been in the middle. And the middle's good. I give it a solid C. They haven't really done a lot. It's oddly they've done. I'll put it this way: they've done more, or we've seen more of it than we have Randy AJ, and yet Randy AJ they've done more with less.
Yeah,
and that's been a good build. I'm going to say this one is it's good. I mean, it's not bad. It's not great. This is good.
What's your best one?
Middle of the road. The women's main event. Come on, this has been like months in the making. Yeah, have they stumbled here and there? Sure, but it's been months in the making. They've actually executed from Becky's heel turn at SummerSlam. A couple weeks after that, they realized, man, people really love this Becky Lynch. And they started pulling the trigger on Becky versus Ronda. Granted, the Becky thing didn't quite pan out because the Survivor Series thing didn't quite pan out. But since then, they've known what they wanted to do. They've known what they wanted to do. We got the hot thing with Becky Lynch. Ronda Rousey's a big name. Let's toss Charlotte in there because she probably deserves to be a spot in the main event. And let's pull the trigger on that one. So, yeah, I'm going to say that. And that go-home segment was killer.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Best build's Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. They've managed to ride the momentum behind Kofi to put forth a pretty interesting story. I'll give that the advantage over the women's title match because fairly often whenever they put an obstacle in front of Becky, it hampered her momentum, whereas every obstacle they put in Kofi built his momentum. And that's why the crowd is like firmly behind Kofi getting that match and now winning it. Mediocre build, Joe versus Rey Mysterio. They haven't had any interaction in weeks. Yeah,
I wouldn't even call that I see that would be on the
well, I mean, it's just mediocre. I mean, it's getting by on the fact that everybody wants to see Joe versus Rey Mysterio. I don't know if they've had a match before. It's getting by on that for the most part. And what?
Nothing. I'm just looking at I'm looking at other builds that could be considered mediocre.
And so my definition is just kind of mediocre. I love Joe. Like if they had one really strong promo from Joe, it would improve the feud. But it might even at this point the match might even happen.
He had one where he name dropped Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
That was okay.
That was all right. And then
I would actually probably say, no, go ahead.
The worst is the women's battle royal. It was announced on Twitter.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And basically no build for it. They had like a 18-person tag match to build for.
I'd actually say this. I could say this for middle of the road, for mediocre, the women's tag title. Because I'm not sure how many people really care that much about Beth Phoenix. As a returning superstar, not really sure how many people really care about that. So I'm going to say that. Like, nobody really cares about 3/4 of these teams. Nobody likes Nia and Tamina. They're heels. It's okay. Beth and Phoenix, people are like, yeah, cool. She looks great. The Iconics, people can't stand. And then people like Sasha and Bailey. Mm-hmm. So it's like 3 teams that people are kind of lukewarm on, and then Sasha and Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of middle of the road right there. But they've tried their damnedest.
Yeah, they've given a lot
I'll
of
give
TV
them
time.
mediocre for that. They've tried their damnedest.
Time, yeah. Next, Philly Flexor.
Hey guys, Philly Flexor here. My match chat question this week is, why is it that people keep saying that factions have to break up? You hear people talking about New Day might split up after WrestleMania, or if when Undisputed Era gets called up or whatnot, they're going to break up. And I'm just like, factions don't always have to break up. I don't know. Tell me your guys' opinion on that. And talk to you later. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Philly Flexor.
Thank you, Philly Flexor. No, they don't always have to break up, and they shouldn't always break up. As we've seen with the New Day, who've been together for, 5 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. They're still really strong as a unit. There's no reason you can't have a strong unit like the New Day collectively also pursue singles goals individually while retaining a strong group, remaining a strong group. There's no reason you can't do that. We saw that with the Shield when they kind of got back together. Granted, the creative behind that wasn't very good, and then they had Dean come back and then turn on him. But there's no reason to think that it can't be possible. It just far too often they build up a faction as a huge thing, and they think, well, we need a story for these guys. Let's break them up. And you don't always have to do that. There's stories that can be told with a group collectively for years and years and years. I don't know. It seems sometimes it just seems kind of easy and lazy to say, all right, well, this faction has been around for 3 or 4 years. What are we gonna do with them? I don't know. Let's break them up. Like the Shield, when they broke up, it made sense to a degree. Mm-hmm. Like when the NWO split into 2 factions. I don't know if that really made sense.
Yeah, but
it was already a huge beast at that point.
It sucked for 4 months after they were around.
I know. It all depends.
It sucked once they brought the Big Show.
It all depends on which avenue would tell the best story going forward. And you got a faction like the New Day, who have publicly said we don't ever want to break up. And if they were to break them up, you would know that unless the creative behind it is amazing and they're all on board with it, that they're doing something they really don't want to do. And I would have that in the back of my mind the entire time, and it would lessen my enjoyment of whatever creative they're involved in at that point.
Well, look at history. Are there any factions that stayed together successfully beyond the New Day?
I mean, there's various versions of the Horsemen. And there is some.
Yeah, does the Horseman even count?
I don't know.
I mean, look at the Horseman. I mean, that's. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like factions. At some point.
Well, look at New Japan. By and large, those factions, like Chaos, has remained basically the same since 2006, 2009.
That is not really a faction, though. Do they act like a faction beyond the fact that they have so many tag matches?
Kind of, sometimes. I think I don't know.
Bullet Club has had some staying power, far more than their predecessor, the NWO.
Mm-hmm. With a lot of
they've had a lot
of
turnover. That's the thing. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like I think that the New Day. I honestly think that the New Day are just by the power of the fact that from the power of positivity, the power of the chemistry of those 3 guys, and it's only 3 of them. They've only ever kept those 3 guys. They are so creative. They're so talented. They work so well as a unit. Creative has done such a good job in keeping them fresh and relevant. They've done a great job keeping them fresh and relevant. That they are kind of the exception to the rule. Because everybody else either overstays their welcome or they do what you say and creative breaks them up because they can't find anything else for them to do. And I don't know if that's a failure on Creative's part or if that's a failure on the factions staying together past their welcome date. I don't know that we have much of a sample size for factions staying together for that long.
It's just New Japan. Like Suzuki-gun's been a faction forever. And they're a faction. Like they will go out and interfere in matches for their, their faction's benefit.
New Japan also just does things.
LIJ.
LIJ
is a faction. Yes.
LIJ is a good example, but then things are just because they have so many multi-man matches. Like factions just sort of make more sense over there. So I don't know. I think that like the history is factions generally don't stay together. I mean, can they? Sure, but they don't seem to. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably just a failing of Creative, but it is what it is. I don't know. Besides the New Day, I've yet to see a faction here in WWE, anyways, that really it makes sense for them to stay together. Are there any factions? Okay, let's ask this the other way around then. Are there any factions that? So I think one that sort of comes to mind is DX. Triple H seemed very antsy. He seemed very interested in pursuing a singles career so he could become, he can have his reign of terror.
Yeah. And
everybody else in DX didn't want to split up.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was Road Dogg who said, we were against that. We did not want to split up. And so that's one faction that maybe, I think probably could have. So Triple H he thought that being a solo guy and not the crotch chopping guy. I think DX could have transitioned into a credible threat DX. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have dropped a bit of the comedy stuff, dropped a bit of the green, and become like a real nasty threat.
Yeah.
But we never got that opportunity. Mm-mm. So I think there are situations where maybe the factions could have stayed together, but
I mean, Right to Censor could have been around for years and years and years.
Don't know why they didn't do that.
Missed opportunity, really.
Seems like they really should have.
Oh yeah.
Steven Richards,
yes.
Should be world champion right now. Right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Next, Luis Araiza. See what he has to say.
Hey friendos, it's the Rain Trigger, Luis Araiza, back with another match act question. My question is, if AEW existed 5-10 years ago with the exact same concept, who do you think would have gone to AEW instead of jumping to WWE? So guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, those kinds of people. Alright, Too Sweet, Hearty Handshake, Colorado Shoulder Rolling.
Thank you, Luis. Go ahead.
A decade ago, 2009. Mm-hmm. What year was it that CM Punk was taken out of that World Heavyweight Championship match backstage? My answer is going to be CM Punk. I think he would have been so tickled to go once he figured that they weren't using him right. They would have done that. He would have gone to All Elite Wrestling. That's my soul. Him and the rest of the Straight Edge Society. He would have brought who's that? Serena Deeb and Doc Gallows.
Yeah.
They would have gone to All Elite Wrestling. Once they did the thing. Once he got yelled at by The Undertaker for not dressing like a champion, and once they took that title away from him backstage in a car accident. No, it was an attack from Legacy or something like that, right?
It was awful.
He would have gone straight to All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
That would have happened. It would have been CM Punk.
But I don't know if an All Elite Wrestling could have happened 10 years ago. I don't think it could have. Because there wasn't quite the groundswell of enthusiasm there was for an alternative WWE. I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't know if there was. Impact was there at the time, and no one really seemed terribly excited about that. There hadn't been a phenomenon like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to serve as foundational pieces for this new promotion.
Well, I think here's the thing. Impact could have been All Elite if they had good business people behind them. That's the thing. Because they had a wealth of amazing talent over there.
They did. They focused on the wrong talent, however.
What year was it that Hogan and them went to Impact?
It's mid-aughts, right?
Was it? It was like 2009,
2000,
something like that.
8 or 9.
Let's see here. 2000. Oh God, really? It was 2003, 2004.
No, it was.
Let's see here.
Well, I guess really is when do they bring Hogan in for the longer run with Bischoff and then Russo was there too, right?
Yeah. Let's see here.
So I think that was later.
Oh, Return to 2009. It was 2009.
2009,
okay.
yeah.
So that one.
Yeah, that's when it really torpedoed.
Yeah. So you don't do that. You don't. Dixie Carter enlists the aid of, I don't know, like a time traveling Tony Khan, and then maybe you have something. Maybe you have something.
I don't know, there's a buzz, a groundswell of support for All Elite that Impact has never seen.
I don't know, man. You look at those crowds back then. Those crowds.
Yeah, but they never would have been able to
Impact.
fill the 10,000 seat arena.
Those crowds are into
never been able to fill a 10,000 seat arena.
I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't. I mean, if you put strong business people behind that, I don't think you say never.
So I don't know. TNA as it existed at the time could never have filled the 10,000 seat arena.
I don't know. That's true, dude.
So I don't know. There's just a particular set of circumstances that led to All Elite being a thing now that I don't know if it existed 10 years ago, because there was alternative 10 years ago. There was Impact. There was Ring of Honor. Alternatives have been around for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just don't know if the stars have aligned for All Elite become a thing and to have buzz around it and have eyeballs on it and have people interested, major people interested in going there, because it seems like it's not a huge step down. It might be a small step down or a step down for WWE, but it's not a massive step down. And for some people, it might be a lateral move financially. So kind of a cop-out. I won't say anybody because I don't know if anybody would have jumped ship.
Well, the thing about All Elite is they feel like a mom pop shop that then
has a billionaire backer.
Has billionaire backers. Whether or not that will continue to translate is up to the quality of their product.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 10 years ago, and they relied so heavily. I think the major difference is social media. I think that they relied so heavily on the prevalence of wrestling and social media and how that's able to basically carry these waves of momentum behind the smallest of things, and really attract a fan base. And then, of course, there's obviously the YouTube stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's been the unique thing about All Elite. And plus, you've got very ambitious wrestlers who have a very, very keen business mind, aligning with some people who have a lot of money and also keen business mind
mm-hmm.
and a love for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's that. I think that there was a thirst for an alternative even 10 years ago. And I think that's why if you look at those crowds from TNA back then, you'll see some very, very enthusiastic people. It's just TNA couldn't keep their shit together because they had crap business. That's how it looks. Let's see here. Cult of False Realities is next. Let's see what he has to say.
What's good, Stephen Larson? Cult of False Realities here, back with another Matt Chat question. And my question today actually has to do about face paint. Now, we heard on Monday that Finn is bringing back the demon, so it means fresh new face paint. And it got me thinking, what wrestler in all of wrestling, not just WWE, has the best face paint? Now, as you can see, I got my man Jeff Hardy rocking his face paint on my shirt. But who else could it be? Pick 5 people. Too sweet. Hardy handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cult of False Realities.
Thank you. Face paint. Are you a fan of face paint?
If done well, yeah.
What's the best?
Sting. Crow Sting, Surfer Sting, doesn't matter. He had the best face paint.
Oh, you have to choose.
No, it's Sting.
You have to choose which one.
No, he says 5. He says 5.
Okay, so power rank Stings then.
1A, 1B, Sting. Surfer Sting,
Which
Crow
one's
Sting.
1A?
I mean, I guess Crow Sting's one he still does, so I guess that one has to win. As long as it's not Wolfpack Sting, because that one's bad.
Doesn't he get knocked down for just ripping off the Crow, though? All he did
look
was rip
great,
off
man.
the Crow.
That's why you got to include Surfer Sting.
He was just the Crow.
I know, but look great. Look great. It looked great. The long hair, it looked great. Surfer Sting looked great, too. It's iconic, man.
Because the Crow looked great.
I'm not talking about the Crow. I'm talking about Surfer Sting.
Here's the thing, though, about Surfer Sting. It's just Ultimate Warrior, man.
I know, because they did together a tag team as the Blade Runners, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So you
Sting's-
got to give Ultimate Warrior credit, too.
No, I'm not giving him credit for anything. Sting's best face paint ever. Legion Doom's got to be up there. Road Warriors, they had some great face paint, iconic face paint.
My favorite was the Boogeyman.
Yeah, Boogeyman was awesome.
Boogeyman, look, that's a great looking character.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great looking character. So I would give mine to Boog. There's a local wrestler named Funny Bone.
Yeah, he's got great face paint.
Face and body paint.
Yeah, he's
like
great.
that guy, and he's always in character.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
He's terrific.
Yeah, he's really good.
I saw him out of character in the bathroom at a show once, and it was really weird.
Yeah, man.
I was like, oh, I think I know who you are. I didn't say that. I just kept to myself and peed and left.
You got to keep kayfabe alive in that sense.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Funny Bone's got great face paint. I was looking through today's roster. Not a whole lot of face paint.
No, man, it's a bummer.
It's just the Ascension pretty much.
You know why I wouldn't put Ultimate Warrior on the list besides the obvious? Besides the fact that he's a creep? It always came off.
It seemed to come off really easily for him.
Really easily.
Sting had a lot of matches. One of those matches, his face paint never came off.
Yeah, right?
Don't know why that is.
I think the answer is Boogeyman. I had Sting on my list, but then I was just thinking about it. It's like you have to give James O'Barr credit, the guy who created the Crow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
He looked great.
Yeah.
He looked great.
It's just the Crow, though.
It looked great.
Or you got to give Scott Hall credit for telling Sting just be the Crow.
But the Surfer Sting face paint looked great, too.
That was weird.
No, it's not weird.
Next
Thayer Thabata.
Thayer Thabata.
Did Jay White get too much too soon?
Thank you.
Thayer Thabata.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I think he's a terrific wrestler. I liked the idea for a spell of him being Switchblade, like Super Push. But I don't know, man. I just don't think he's got the heft. I still don't think that he has it. I think I watch his promos and I want to fall asleep. And I just don't. I don't know. I don't see it.
They did that probably about at least a year too soon. And I guess from what I've read that they kind of put him in the Kenny Omega spot.
Yeah.
Kenny left or decided to leave or at least to cover their bases in case Kenny was going to leave when his contract was up and hadn't necessarily informed them yet. But yeah, it seems like it's just a tad bit too soon. I think it's more just like he doesn't carry the heft as a performer. He's a great wrestler, but just he hasn't been around long enough.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have the mileage in New Japan. I think to bring weight to him as a champion quite yet. I really like him. He's super young, still got a ton of potential.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, maybe about a year too soon. I was really surprised when he did beat Tanahashi for the title, but at the same time, I wasn't.
Here's how. Well, no, because it was obvious they wanted to push crap at him.
Yeah.
Here's the route Jay White, and it's funny because it parallels exactly the person they put him in the spot for. But if he had taken the route of the Cleaner, you know, remember the Cleaner was like, as part of Bullet Club, he was like the X Factor. He was like, you know, the wild card guy. And then it made sense for him when leadership was changing over for him to take over as leader. But Tom Matonga just like tweeted out, Jay White's our leader now.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. Like if they had
didn't show us.
If they had taken the route of instead of Jay White just kind of being an instigator inside of Chaos to kind of send them into disarray, only to defect to Bullet Club. If they'd actually made it as a real struggle for the power, the leader of Chaos, you know, something like that had not been in contention for years.
Yeah,
years.
Yeah,
I think essentially since that faction formed, like it was formed by Nakamura and Yano, and when Nakamura's there, he was the guy, and when he left, bang, Okada.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt whatsoever. That's my understanding. So to actually put the leadership of Chaos in question, I thought would have been something else. Now I understand Bullet Club was losing like a good chunk of their membership. They wanted to install someone in there in a leadership role with some buzz behind them. I get that, but it would have been interesting just to see that story within Chaos play out first, and then maybe, hey, he wins leadership of Chaos. Guess what? I don't even want it. Deal with this now, guys. I don't even want this.
Yeah, I know. I feel like... So, I wasn't really watching when AJ and Nakamura and the Bullet Club guys, the club, when they left. But from what I understand, when I read about, New Japan story-wise didn't skip a beat. I feel
they got
like
beat up at New Year's Dash.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And life moved on and
Yeah.
onward and upwards.
there was that sense of blow off, which we never got with Bullet Club when those guys left.
I feel like they executed those write-offs very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with the Elite leaving, maybe that was too big a hole to recover from story-wise. I mean, we don't look. It's easy to say this is what we would have liked to have seen because that it's true, but the realities of trying to book this stuff are probably something that are very daunting and not the easiest thing in the world.
At the same time, though, it hampered this new iteration of Bullet Club to not get a decisive victory over the people that were leaving.
Yeah, I know.
It just makes them look weak.
I couldn't stand. I hate. It's like everybody just get off your goddamn Twitter. Stop telling me everything through Twitter. Stop talking about we're not in Bullet Club anymore. Mm-hmm. Good luck to the next group. That I thought that was so disrespectful for the Elite to say, "Hey, good luck, guys.
These are our last Bullet Club shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
These are our last." Yeah, I mean, when people joke about All Elite being a merch store, basically just a T-shirt selling company, it's like you're not helping yourself when you get on Twitter and you say, "Hey, we're no longer part of Bullet Club."
Yeah,
like the group.
You know how you leave Bullet Club? On your back.
Yes,
taking a loss.
Exactly.
Yep.
And maybe there's more story there. Maybe they felt disrespected somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But to get on Twitter and say, we're not in Bullet Club anymore. Good luck, everybody. We think you're great. That was stupid. That was just, that's just, to me as a wrestling fan, that's really silly.
Mm-hmm.
And
because you're really hamstringing what's left of Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Because they don't get any momentum from you leaving.
Right.
Which they really need.
Yeah. And now they're doing like a cookout, a block party.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I know. I want to go.
I'd love to go.
I want to go. But I'm just saying. I don't know, man. I love Tama Tonga. Here's it really should have gone down. So even as simple as this. I don't know. It's everything you just said. Bullet Club, they get Tama Tonga and Tongalo and all those guys. They send the Elite packing, like you said, on their backs.
Well, this is what it is, because
and then they start talking about their third guy
Yeah.
to throw back to what they're paying homage to, the NWO,
exactly,
their
exactly,
third guy.
exactly.
And it's obvious that it's Jay White, but it's so obvious that it's Jay White, it can't really be Jay White, right?
Yeah.
And then it ends up being Jay White.
Like if the Young Bucks and Kenny had
Or
stuck
maybe-
around for New Year's Dash, had like a 6-man tag or something, Elite versus Guerrilla's Destiny and a mystery partner.
Mm-hmm, yeah. yeah, exactly.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, I know.
Piece of cake.
I know.
Just take a loss on the way out. It's tradition.
Yep. And then instead of Tama Tonga tweeting out Jay White is our leader, why don't you have Jay White be kind of your X Factor cleaner guy, and then you can do like either some power usurping or Jay White gets the title and then everybody bows before him, as opposed to tweeting it out.
It's just not dramatic.
It isn't.
No.
So I don't know. But whatever story there is, whatever inside story there is, I mean, maybe there's some story there. Maybe there's a reason.
There could
I don't
be.
know.
I don't know.
Maybe Gato just had better things to take care of, and he was like, I don't know, just tweet it out. I don't know.
I have a hard time believing that. Next, Richard.
Well, sorry, wasn't it Jericho? Who was it that said, yeah, they'll just tell you to tweet something out when they want to announce that you're in a faction or something. They'll just say, yeah. Like I think Jericho literally said that. They said, yeah, just tweet it out.
I mean, that's the way they're approaching social media.
I mean, it's how I approach W. Steve W.
Yeah.
Just everything through tweets.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to watch that.
Next from Rich Nason with Chase. See what they have to say.
Hey, friendos, this is Rich and Chase with our very first Matt Chat question. We just finished watching SmackDown, and Kofi gave me chills with what he was able to squeeze in the final 2 minutes. However, for our first Matt Chat question, Chase, who you gave a shout out to on Monday's show and literally made his day, thank you very much for that, but he has a question.
Steven Larson, I wanted to ask you a lot of times that, do you know what wrestler would win against Shinsuke Nakamura and John Cena, those two superstars? And my other question is, who do you think, when Sasha Banks and Bayley weren't friends, who do you think is better?
A couple of good questions. A little friendo in training there, teaching him right, going in raw slayest. But thank you for the first Matt chat. As always, keep up the great content, boys.
Thank you, Rich and Chase.
Oh, look at that little baby boy right there. That is an adorable child. And then you got Rich's big head in there, too. I'm joking. Anyways, what a great couple of questions here. Some hard decisions to be made.
Yes.
In some epic feuds.
Yes.
That we could have seen. So we saw a stellar matchup between John Cena and Nakamura. It was like a 12-minute match on SmackDown.
It was really good.
That was really, really good.
Nakamura picked up the win there.
He did. And Cena is right now in full-on torch-passing mode. I think Nakamura would come out on top in a long-term feud between those two.
Lol. Cena.
This isn't 2012 anymore, man. This isn't 2012, 2010.
It is a phrase that has no expiration date. Lol, Cena win.
What about Sasha and Bayley? Of course, we've seen classic matches
between them at TakeOver, and I believe Bayley won both those.
Yeah.
Sasha's due for a W.
Okay.
Sasha picks up the win.
I have Bayley going over because Bayley needs the win. Bayley's just natural. Although, I don't know, man. Bayley teased a heel turn when she said, "You ain't S-word." I'm assuming Chase is watching this, so I'm not going to curse.
Smart move.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe heel Bayley takes the win. In any event, I've got the huggable one.
All right, fair enough.
Getting that
I'll
win.
go with the boss.
But thank you very much,
Thank
Chase.
Thank you.
And Rich. And welcome to Matt Chat,
Yes.
both of you. Hopefully we get a lot more questions from them.
Next question from Stephen M.
Hey friend, it's Stephen M here, just finishing up work. So I watched that Chronicle documentary on Roman Reigns coming back from cancer, and it humanizes him so much and makes him just seem like such a cool dude. And it made me realize after the big season reset that is WrestleMania, where I'd like to see Roman go, and I'd love to see him go to SmackDown and hook up with the Usos and just properly let his personality come out, because he's just such a down-to-earth, cool dude, and honestly, I think he's such money if they book him right. So, wanted to see where you guys think he should go and what he should do after Mania.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. I say, so number one, I really like his idea of putting him with the Usos. At this point, Roman just feels like an Uso. Put him with them. I think that'd be a great dynamic. However, I'm going to say this. Keep Roman on Raw. It's the A show. Have him feud with Drew for like a year. I want to see the best of what we saw with Roman Braun, the small amount of good stuff we saw with Roman Brock. Drew is around. You can have this feud play out for like a year. You can weave Seth in there, have Drew take that Universal title off him, and then eventually Roman gets his comeuppance by getting that Universal title off of Drew McIntyre in a way that people will be very satisfied with. It won't feel forced. It'll feel natural, cinematic, organic, dramatic, and fantastic.
You mentioned that Raw is the A show. For now, come October, when SmackDown Live TV is on Fox,
yes,
that might change. So I'm on board with Stephen M's idea of sending Roman over to SmackDown. Give him a bit of a fresh start. The worry is going to be at least short-term, maybe long-term even. And they kind of address this, that as long as Roman's on Raw, it's only a matter of time before he's going to have the Universal title around his waist.
Yes.
They might not want that shadow looming over Seth's eventual Universal title run. Just send Roman over to SmackDown.
Yep.
Problem taken care of. You send Roman over there, give him a fresh start, be the cornerstone of SmackDown on Fox, and he could eventually feud with whoever is the next heel champion over on SmackDown leading into the next Mania. And I don't know, it just feels like it'd be something new for him to do. That's it. Just something new.
This is SmackDown
Feud with Cletus.
Fox.
Fox Football Robot.
Perfect.
That's the feud I want to see.
Perfect. Next up, we've got a question from Winemaker. Let's see what this Winker has to say.
Oh. Hello guys, Winemaker here, and as it's WrestleMania weekend, I thought we would indulge ourselves. Please book the best Mania that you can think of. I want 6 matches, 3 each. that involve non-WWE talent exclusively. So pick the best 3 matches you can think of and build your best Mania. So, too sweet. Artie handshake. I'm in the missus' car. The van can't use at night. So, a bit naughty. Have a good one. Enjoy Mania. I'll be in Poland. See you later.
Thank you, Wayne Maker.
Thank you, Wayne Maker.
All right, I'll do first. I'll do one match, you do one match. I'll do one match, you do one match. Okay?
Fair.
Main event. Kenny Omega versus CM Punk.
Okay. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Minoru Suzuki.
Ooh, I like that. Chris Jericho versus Kazuchika Okada.
Good. That's Young Bucks versus LAX.
Oh, that's a good one, too. And then finally, I've got Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Tetsuya Naito.
Great. Mako Satomura versus Jordan Grace.
That's a good one. Good job.
They're all good. They're all great matches.
That's a killer Mania match right there.
That's a fantastic 6-match Mania card.
Absolutely. Next up, Taco Dan has a question. Let's see what Taco Dan has to say. That makes me hungry saying
Yeah,
Taco
me too.
Dan.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen Larson, Taco Dan here with a Matt Chat question. So with Mania coming up this weekend and the card looking stacked between Mania itself and TakeOver, I'm expecting at least a couple classic matches. So my question for you guys is, what are some classic matches, Mania or otherwise, that you guys like to go back to and watch in your free time? For me, it is Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, TakeOver Dallas from a couple years ago. I can't get enough of that match. Let me know what you guys think. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Taco Dan.
Thank you, Taco Dan.
I love this question. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I love sitting back on the network and watching old Nitros and Raws from around the time I started to watch. Because I've got, number one, I have a terrible memory, but I've got like little bits and pieces of memory. And so I like to go back and watch like from, I'd say like mid 97 into 98. I like to start watching Nitro. I wasn't watching Raw at the time. That wasn't until Stone Cold's reign started. I started watching Raw. So I like to watch from like mid 97, mid 98 and just go through and see some of the old stuff that is pretty much left the memory, but it reignites some old memories. And yeah, that's good stuff.
All right. Just some old favorites. End of an era.
Yeah.
Triple H, Undertaker. I can watch that match over and over,
Yeah,
over
it's a
and over
great
again.
match.
It's great. Shawn Michaels versus Mick Foley as Mankind at Mind Games, In Your House Mind Games from 97, I want to say.
Yeah.
Man, that's a
sounds
great
right.
match.
Yeah.
And also Kota Ibushi versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 9, I believe. You got to watch that match. Man, it is something else.
That's why now I got to
It's
watch
spectacular.
that match. Got to watch it.
It's a 5-star match, man. You got to watch it.
I just like journeying down memory lane, or I like to go on the network and like go deep in their vault and just look at weird shit from the past. I hope Chase isn't paying attention anymore. Next up, Richard Morris has a question.
This is a great question.
This is a great question, by the way.
Hey, Stephen Larson. Richard Morris here with another Matt Chat question. After this Finn Balor demon thing on Monday night, him sticking his tongue out, all that fun stuff, I started thinking, man, he looked a lot like Gene Simmons and Kiss. So which 4 current roster wrestlers would you want to form a Kiss cover band? You have to include Finn Balor because, Gene Simmons right there. And he's the real rock and roller. All right. Too sweet. Hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Richard Morris. Now, I'm not a huge Kiss fan.
Neither am I.
I'm somewhat familiar with their work. So you got Finn as the God of Thunder.
Okay, good.
Holding down the bass, secondary vocal duties. As lead singer, that's good. Xavier Woods. We know he can sing.
Yes.
And they incorporate Kane's theme, the one with vocals, into the set list.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be something else.
Yeah.
You got Elias as lead guitar, Ace Frehley.
Makes sense.
And then Eric Bugenhagen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Holding things down on the drums.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's my Kiss cover band lineup.
All right. I feel like Bugenhagen's most likely to break out into a solo career. I'm going to go with this. Chris Jericho.
Huge Kiss fan. We just saw a video of him marking out huge at a Kiss show.
Absolutely. Papa Buck of the Young Bucks. He can do instruments.
He's a multi-instrumental player type guy.
He does all of their music. He's the Jim Johnson of All Elite Wrestling.
Yes.
Kyle O'Reilly.
He plays a mean air guitar, but who knows if he actually play a lick.
Well, this is a fantasy book situation, so he's booked to play for reals. And then finally, and I can't believe you didn't go with this is the Kiss Demon. It's the Kiss Demon. He's a member of Kiss. He's the only,
but not from a musical standpoint.
But he's a member of Kiss.
Yeah, but this is a Kiss cover band, not actually Kiss.
Right, so you get the guy that was the closest to Kiss.
But if this is a Kiss cover band, I want them a band that can capably play Kiss songs. I don't know if he can play anything.
He already had... Wait, what does Finn play again?
Oh, he didn't say... He said we had to include Finn because of the Demon
Oh, we
makeup.
had to?
We had to include Finn.
Oh, well, then I'm going to take Kyle O'Reilly out.
Because he said Finn reminded him of Gene Simmons.
All right, I'm going to take Kyle O'Reilly out.
That's why I said Finn holding it down.
Okay.
God of Thunder.
All right. Well, I got Kiss Demon in mind because he already has the suit.
Yeah, he more or less had Gene Simmons the makeup too.
I don't have to worry about anything. He's already there. Kiss Demon
and most
here,
of the
he's good.
Kiss bass lines are pretty simple.
There you
go. Next, Loki. See what he has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Look, Richard here. Nemo wouldn't let me bring my master to Japan. She says she didn't want to be deported for me being creepy. But we've been up for 40 hours, and in that delirium, we got Nemo's next Matt Chat question. She asked, who would win a wrestling match, a pirate or a ninja? Have fun with the debate. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Loki.
Thank you, Loki.
All right, make your pick.
Well, you picked ninja.
Heck yeah, man. Without a doubt.
Okay, so
ninjas were masters of stealth. If you watch any ninja movie, you know they're incredibly physically fit. Same can't be said for pirates who probably have scurvy. Some of them, minus a leg, peg legs, or minus a hand, hooks. They can't be wrestling in the wrestling ring.
Okay, but
give me the ninja smoke bomb. They could teleport from one side of the ring to the other.
Okay, great. So I'm glad you just did that. Thank you. You let me win that one. You know why? Because you said a ninja can bring a smoke bomb into it. I'm looking at some Somalian pirates who have machine guns. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Yeah. And he'll just mow down the ninja. Ninja can't do anything against a machine gun.
Yeah, they can.
We've seen that in Rambo. He went and shot a bunch of ninjas and they all just fall down. We've seen, how many ninjas have you seen? Just armies of ninja, and they're taken down by one person. That's happened in multiple movies.
Yeah, but how many times has one ninja taken on an entire army of people and defeated them? Watch some ninja movies from the 80s.
I mean, it depends on the class of ninja, really. I feel like a Somalian pirate could easily take down a ninja.
That's up for debate.
I'm the captain now.
Ninja goes over. Next, got a question from Raymond Gonzalez. Let's see what Raymond has to say.
Hey, Stephen Larson. This is Ray Gonzalez here. Just wondering, kayfabe-wise, what finishing move would work best in the zombie apocalypse? Personally, I think the super kick would probably work the best. But what do you guys think? Too sweet, hearty, whatever. Good day, friendos.
Thank you, Raymond Gonzalez.
Thank you, Raymond.
So, you're in the zombie apocalypse. You have no weapons at hand. You only have wrestling acumen.
Yeah.
What move would you use? He says the super kick Larson.
It's hard to argue with that point, but since he brought that up, we got to come up with something else.
Now, here's the thing. You don't want to use super kick. Super kick, number one, that's the super kick right there. It's just slapping your thigh. You don't really do anything. And on top of that, the zombie, if you do it wrong, a zombie can grab your foot and just eat it. Then you're a zombie. It
looks the best. It'd be the best looking finisher to use against a zombie.
Here's what you do, man. Shining Wizard. You just run at a guy and launch your knee at them. And you'll destroy their head.
You know, ideally, it'd have to be something that, because obviously it just has to be some sort of strike.
Step up insecurity.
It has to be some sort of strike, but I want it to be a strike where I don't have to get too close to the zombie. If you're doing a Shining Wizard, you're right up close and personal.
Your crotch area's kind of near him, too.
Exactly. So that's why I thought the super kick was a good idea. However, I understand your point.
Here's my idea for Shining Wizard. Here's how it works. You carry around little bits of dead animal with you.
Answer is Black Mass. That's the answer.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
It's Black Mass.
What if you accidentally hit them? Number one, have you ever tried to do Black Mass? It is very difficult. It is not easy. I'm telling you, man. Here's what you do. You throw down a bunch of little squirrel bits, and then stupid zombie goes down, and then you load up a last shot from behind.
Actually, your better option is a Roderick Strong running knee, so you can take out multiple zombies at once.
If I was Roderick Strong, that's what I would employ for sure.
Because also with the running knee like Roderick Strong does it, Like for a Shining Wizard, the zombies have to be like crouched or on their knees or something.
You know what you definitely don't want to do? Here's the worst move in the zombie apocalypse: powerbomb.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many opportunities to get bit.
Yeah,
especially like at the groin area.
You don't
put
want to
them
do that.
between your legs.
Don't
They'll
wanna do
bite
that.
your leg.
Yep, totally.
Bring them up here. They'll bite your face.
Yeah, don't want to do that. It's got to be a strike. It's got to be something fast with zero setup. Black mass. Out of nowhere. Take up multiple zombies with one black mass.
Shining Wizard.
No, because they got to be crouched.
Yeah, that's why you put the squirrel bits.
That's too much setup, man.
Did they go down?
What if you don't have any little bits? What are you going to do then? Black mass needs no setup. The answer is black mass. Can't believe you're arguing with about this. It's black mass. Next, a couple text questions. First from Guion Halili. He says, "This is Jacksonville's
number one
Matt Chatter. My question is, what is the best instance of WWE's or NXT's long-term booking, and what is the worst? Also, any examples of promotion outside of WWE? Now, New Japan is noted for their long-term booking.
Yeah.
They'll book for a year out, if not more. But WWE, the best long-term booking, two come to mind. Obviously, Ciampa versus Gargano. Unfortunately, the story to be cut short because of Ciampa's injury. But, man, the ride was great.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think that one had the most vision.
This NXT's best feud ever.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best feuds, if not the best feud of the modern era of WWE. A classic Mega Powers storyline.
That's a great
That
one.
was great. How Hogan, Macho Man came together as a team only for that team to fall apart. It spanned like 1.5 WrestleManias pretty much.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The worst, Austin McMahon.
Oh, I have the worst.
Because that was great while I was going until Stone Cold turned heel in line with McMahon. And it kind of it dropped a huge turd on everything else.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There was a lot of good stuff during
Oh, there's
that.
fantastic stuff during it.
And, I mean, you could consider Austin beating the corporate champion, The Rock, at 15, maybe. I mean, the culmination of that feud. I don't know. I think they just kept that train going for no reason.
Yeah.
I would say this. The worst example of long-term booking is one where they literally did not have an answer to a setup. And not only that, the setup was so excruciatingly bad.
Mm-hmm.
The Raw Anonymous GM.
And also, was it Vince's illegitimate kid?
Yeah, that sucked too, but you weren't interrupted. Every single story beat like that they didn't want to write, it was obvious that they were using the Anonymous GM just to be lazy.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
That's terrible.
Last question from the Howdly Doodly champion, the Diddly Doodler. Says, so my first question is going to be based on the Chikara match, with the suave sailor Ashley Remington, who is Dalton Castle, versus Hollow Wicked.
Yeah.
Halfway through the match, Ashley Remington goes full mast.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Did he say full mast or half mast?
Full mast.
He was I don't know, man.
It
I
didn't
watched
quite look
that
full,
match.
but there was definitely something going on. And both men have to wrestle with this going on, so I was wondering what move would be the most awkward move to go full mast on. Now, this is a move that you're delivering to your opponent, or you're receiving from an opponent who is full mast.
Oh wow, those are two great questions.
Because if you're on the receiving end of a move from someone who's a full mast, I think like a triangle might be kind of awkward.
Coquina clutch.
Yeah, that. But like a triangle, like your chin. is basically resting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want to deliver a power bomb because then you're like.
But that's just for a short moment. That's just you're up there for a moment and it's down. But if you're in a triangle, like your chin is just resting on a front area potentially for a very long
there's
time.
also there's actually evidence of this. If you take a look at the Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan when Hogan won the title, that was full mast. That was straight up just that he was engorged.
Yeah, fully.
And I think he went down and gave him
a camel clutch.
Camel clutch. So Hogan felt it.
Yeah.
He felt it. Whether it was on his back, maybe in his buttocks area, I don't know.
Probably in the middle of his back.
Probably middle of the back.
Now say that you are in a wrestling match, you're full mast, even half mast, and what move would you not want to receive in such a situation? That'd be some sort of move where you're landing like face first, hard on the mat.
Ow!
Like you're missing a frog splash or something.
Well, you frog splash, a skull crushing finale, maybe, but you can sort of bend yourself that way. Frog splash, you're still kind of bending a little bit.
It's some sort of bump where you got to take with
you're-
impact on your tummy.
That's true, but also if you're half mast, you don't want to be in the sharpshooter, because then you're sort of like rubbing
and it could make the situation
could
worse.
make it where then you could extend a full mast.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you're in an Iron Sheik situation where you're full mast and just, you definitely don't want to take any bump on your tummy.
Yeah, you definitely need to like
styles clash.
You need to reach down and
you don't want to take that.
Oh no.
And also your front area is like right below your opponent's head.
Yeah.
And so the camera shot is going to be pretty tight, getting that reaction from your opponent doing that styles clash, and they're just going to see front area.
It's rated R, man.
Yeah,
you can't see that.
It's too much.
Yeah.
You know, tail of that match, Dalton Castle he was selling arm injury to cover it up.
He's doing this a lot because I was trying to look at his front area. I was like, I need to do some real research here.
Yeah,
because it's also funny.
Yeah,
they are funny. Anyways, all good answers.
Yes.
Thanks so much, everybody, for your Matt Chats. We really appreciate it. Hope you join us later on today for our WrestleMania live show.
Yes.
Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.